Good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. All of the biggest news stories from India and across the world coming up ahead. Let us start with the headlines. Gujarat on high alert as very severe cyclonic storm Vayu to hit coastal Gujarat later today. Teams of Army, Navy, Coast Guard and NDRF on standby. Over 3 lakh people evacuated. Western Railways cancel over 70 trains as a precautionary measure. Prime Minister begins two-day visit to Kyrgyzstan to attend the SCO summit. Bilateral talks with the top leadership of China, Russia and Afghanistan on today's agenda to address the 8-member nation summit tomorrow. Government to bring fresh bill to ban triple Thalaaq in the upcoming parliament session beginning Monday. New bill cleared by the Union Cabinet. Cabinet nod also for the extension of President's rule in Jammu and Kashmir for 6 more months. As post-poll violence continues, West Bengal Governor K.N. Tripathi calls an all-party meet, summons top leaders from Trinamool, BJP, Left and Congress to resolve law and order issues. And in the ICC World Cup cricket, men in blue to take on New Zealand in their 3rd league match at Nottingham today. In a tense clash yesterday, David Warner's ton helps Australia beat Pakistan by 41 runs. First up, the update on very severe category cyclonic storm Vayu that will make a landfall along the Gujarat coast this afternoon. Now, as per the latest report, Vayu has changed its course a little bit and now will hit Gujarat coast anywhere between Verawal and Dwarka in the west this afternoon, and with the wind speed likely at 155 to 165 kilometers per hour and gustings to 180 kilometers per hour. After making the landfall, the cyclone is likely to move along and parallel to Saurashtra and Kutch coast. The cyclone is likely to affect Kutch, Morbi, Jamnagar, Junagadh, Devbhoomi, Dwarka, Porbandar, Rajkot, Amreli, Bhavnagar and Gir Somnath districts. An alert was sounded in 10 districts of Gujarat as the cyclone turned very severe and its impact is expected to remain strong for 24 hours even after its landfall today. The authorities have shifted more than 3 lakh people so far from low-lying areas of Saurashtra and Kutch regions, while Diu has also evacuated over 10,000 people from low-lying areas to safer places. Now, as many as 52 teams of the NDRF comprising around 45 rescuers each have been moved to the state. 24 columns of the Indian Army, each having a strength of about 70, have been kept on standby. 2 companies of PSF, 14 companies of State Reserve Police and 300 commandos of the State Marine Police have also been deployed. Warships and aircraft of the Indian Navy have also been kept on standby. And the Air Force has also positioned the medium lift and light utility helicopters at nodal points in the state to undertake the disaster relief operations. The Indian Coast Guard has dispersed its ships and aircraft at various places to enable search and rescue post the landfall. And operations at all ports and airports located near the Gujarat coastline have been halted temporarily as a precautionary measure. Meanwhile, the Western Railways have also cancelled about 70 trains passing through the areas of Gujarat for 2 days. The Railways has kept special trains ready for deployment in the affected areas after the cyclone makes landfall.
हमने 10 डिस्ट्रिक्ट को आइडेंटिफाई किया है। उनमें सभी कच्चे मकान, सभी जो कोस्टल पट्टी पर, दरियाई पट्टी पर जो गांव है, उन सबको शिफ्टिंग करने का डिसीजन लिया है। भारी बारिश और साइक्लोन के वजह से कोई जानहानि न हो, कम से कम नुकसान हो, इसका प्रिपरेशन तैयारियां हो चुकी है।
साइक्लोन जो लैंडफॉल करेगा वो वेरावल और दीव के बीच के इलाके में लैंड होगा और वही इलाका ज़्यादा प्रभावित होगा। तो जो कोस्टल के ज़िले हैं वहाँ पे एनडीआरएफ की टीमों की संख्या ज़्यादा रखी गई है, जैसे गिर सोमनाथ, पोरबंदर, अमरेली, भावनगर, जूनागढ़ इत्यादि।
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also advised people to follow real-time information that is being provided by the local agencies to stay safe. In a Twitter message, the Prime Minister said, and I quote him now, praying for the safety and well-being of all those affected by Cyclone Vayu. The government and local agencies are providing real-time information, which I urge those in affected areas to follow closely, unquote. All right, let us try to know what exactly is happening on the ground. We have with us Mr. Ranveer Kumar Mishra, Deputy Commandant of 6 NDRF, joining us here on Rajya Sabha Television. Thank you so much, sir, and very good morning for joining us here on Rajya Sabha TV. Sir, the latest information as far as the IMD is concerned is that the Cyclone Vayu won't hit Gujarat. It will actually pass nearby from Veeraval, Porbandar and Dwarka. And we saw yesterday how around 3 lakh people were evacuated from coastal Gujarat and also the Union Territory of Diu. Tell us about the preparedness that is in place. We understand that 52 teams of NDRF have already been deployed for rescue and relief operations.
Okay, our preparedness is on a full scale, and we have shifted already more than 274,000 and almost 700 people from the low-lying areas. And our teams are regularly convincing the people who are residing in the low-lying areas to go on safer place. And our NDRF teams are helping them. And we have already established a very good communication setup. If there is any negative impact of cyclone, so NDRF teams are in full preparation. And we have planned a strategy to zero loss man and material.
Absolutely. So everything is in place. The preparedness is strong, and the NDRF, Coast Guard, Army, Navy, Air Force, BSF, everyone is on high alert. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning on Rajya Sabha Television. And our colleague Aruna Thakur is now joining us from outside the Indian Met Office headquarters. Very good morning, Aruna. Now talking about, the latest update is that the cyclone has changed its trajectory overnight. It has moved further into the sea. But of course, the entire west coast continues to be on high alert. We understand that strong winds and rough seas are expected for the next 24 to 48 hours. What updates have you got from the IMD?
Yeah, Shwara, it's news from the IMD scientists that the landfall is not there in this cyclone of Vayu. So the damage related to the landfall will not be there, but the cyclone is still under the very severe category. So the wind will be from the speed will be from 132, which make speed up to 165 km/h. So wind-related affected things or damage will be there in the coastline areas of like Junagadh, Porbandar, Devbhoomi, Dwarka. So these low-lying coastal areas of Gujarat will be affected, but there will be no damage related to the landfall. And it is also said by the IMD scientists that the heavy rainfall will be there after the cyclone for last 2 days. So for 13th and 14th will be heavy rainfall, and it is also expected that there will be damage in these coastal areas of Gujarat.
All right. The
Ashwarya.
storm has moved away from Gujarat coast, but of course, as Aruna has been telling us, heavy rains and winds are expected. Thank you so much, Aruna, for those updates. You keep tracking all those developments. We'll keep coming back to you. And on to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi began a two-day visit to Kyrgyzstan to attend the two-day Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, or the SCO Summit, beginning today. Now, as per his itinerary today, Prime Minister Modi will first hold talks with the Chinese President Xi Jinping, and this will be followed by one-on-one talks with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. And also a bilateral meeting with Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani is slated for the day today. The Prime Minister is also scheduled to address the 8-member SCO summit tomorrow. The main agenda of the meeting will be terrorism, and PM Modi is expected to pitch for strong and decisive action to deal with the menace during the two-day summit. He is also expected to emphasize on the need for enhancing connectivity among the members of the grouping to boost overall growth. All right, Akhilesh Suman, our colleague, is joining us live from Bishkek, that is Kyrgyzstan's capital. A very good morning, Akhilesh. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has left this morning for the two-day SCO summit, of course, and the address, of course, will be tomorrow. But today there are a number of bilateral meetings that are slated, including that with Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the summit. What can we expect out of those meetings today?
Right, Swarya. Prime Minister has left Delhi and he is coming Bishkek around 3 p.m. today. And after 3 p.m. he will be having again very hectic schedule other than meeting Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin. He will meet, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani. In between, there will be a banquet hosted by, President of Kyrgyzstan. But what is more important? More important is that the whole agenda of SCO has been, a bit concentrated around some issues that was not being cleansed for a long time. And that issue primarily is the issue of terrorism. And that is why Prime Minister Narendra Modi is meeting Afghan President today before formal SCO meeting begins tomorrow and before his address. And he is also meeting, that is why Chinese President and Russian President. The whole understanding is that if you want peace in this area, if you want prosperity in this area, and if you want to become a pole in the world, if you want to challenge the polarity by Americans, you have to create a situation in this whole region that this region should be prosperous, this region should be peaceful, and also this region should be connected to each other. So I think Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to do some plain talking today with President Xi Jinping and President Vladimir Putin. He wants to say that, for a long time Americans were active in this area, Europeans were active in this area, and no peace could be established. And now it is tasked up to the three powers, Russia, China and India, whether they can do something for this region or not. And if you fail in this responsibility, you should not say that, it is unipolarism, it is American who is trying to push its own agenda. For creating a multipolar world, for creating a peaceful market, and for creating a transparent trading system, you need to create a situation among the all regions, prospering regions in the world, so that they can do trade well. And that is why Prime Minister is going to mention in the meetings with Chinese President and Russian President about the whole menace created by Pakistan. It will not give you connectivity to the Central Asian countries.
It will top the agenda when Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds talks with his Chinese, Russian and Afghanistan counterparts. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates there. We'll keep coming back to you. And back home, in the Prime Minister Modi-led cabinet meeting that was held yesterday, the government cleared a fresh bill to ban the practice of instant triple talaq. Now, the bill will replace an ordinance that was issued in February by the previous BJP-led NDA government. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar said that the fresh bill will be introduced in the budget session of Parliament, which begins next week. With the dissolution of the 16th Lok Sabha last month, the previous bill had lapsed as it was pending in Rajya Sabha.
ट्रिपल तलाक से मुक्ति देने के लिए ट्रिपल तलाक बंदी का यानी तलाक की बिद्दत को पाबंदी लगाने का इस बार बिल लाया जाएगा। जो अध्यादेश पहले निकला है और उसमें जो भी विपक्षों ने जो अपनी भावनाएं व्यक्त की थी, आपत्तियां व्यक्त की, उसका भी संज्ञान लिया है। और ये सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, इसका ये परिचायक है। ये इंसानियत का तकाजा है, ये इंसाफ की जरूरत है और ये जेंडर इक्वालिटी और जेंडर जस्टिस की बात है।
And the Union Cabinet also cleared a bill to allow voluntary use of Aadhaar as identity proof for opening bank accounts and procuring mobile phone connections. The bill, which will be in form of amendment to Aadhaar Act 2016, will replace an ordinance that was issued in March 2019, and it also proposes stiff penalties for the violation of norms. And the Cabinet also agreed to extend the President's rule in Jammu and Kashmir for 6 more months beginning 20th of June.
छह महीने के लिए और बढ़ेगी क्योंकि 2 जुलाई को समाप्त हो रही थी। तो राष्ट्रपति शासन जम्मू कश्मीर में, हाँ, राज्यपाल शासन।
The Union Cabinet also approved the introduction of the Central Educational Institutions Reservation in Teachers Cadre Bill 2019, which will allow filling up of more than 7,000 existing vacancies by direct recruitment in accordance with the new quota system. And in some other decisions, the Union Cabinet also approved to introduce some more bills in the upcoming Parliament session. Now, these include the Special Economic Zones Amendment Bill 2019, the Public Premises Eviction of Unauthorized Occupants Amendment Bill 2019, the Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Bill 2019, and the Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Amendment Bill 2019. And our colleague Panchanan Mishra is now joining us on the phone line for more on this story. Very good morning, Panchanan. Of course, key decisions taken by the Union Cabinet, but of course the main would be clearing a fresh bill to ban instant triple talaq. Of course, this bill had been introduced in Parliament in 2016, but had lapsed with the dissolution of the 16th Lok Sabha. And very other important bills also that are going to be taken up in the upcoming budget session.
Exactly, Aishwarya. This was the second cabinet meeting of this NDA-2 government, and decision for the introduction new bills and also the bills against the ordinances which were in place right now is taken. And as you know that from 17th of June the Parliament session is going to begin. So in this session the bills will be put for there will be a fresh bills for instant triple talaq which is in form of ordinance right now. And there is an ordinance for this reservation of in central universities to be seen that a university as a unit. So these bills were promised. These were promised by the government in NDA-1, and now it will be continued because triple talaq bill was not passed in Rajya Sabha due to opposition from Congress especially. So
yes,
there will be a fresh bill for this, and also as you mentioned that President's rule has been approved for 6 months. And one another factor is that in Jammu there will be a 3% reservation now for the residents of line of actual control. Till now it was granted to residents of line of control persons only. So these all has been taken, and one in related to Kyrgyzstan. Their MOU has been approved in field of health and legal metrology. Prime Minister is there, and it will be signed there. So for Kyrgyzstan, the 2 MOUs are approved. Ashwarya.
All right. Thank you so much, Panchanan, for all those updates there. And in news just coming in, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi has convened an all-party meeting on 16th of June ahead of the Parliament session beginning on 17th of June, and the meeting will be chaired by the Prime Minister. On to some other news now. 5 CRPF jawans were martyred and 3 others were injured in a terrorist attack in Anantnag in Jammu and Kashmir on Wednesday. According to officials, at least 2 terrorists attacked a patrol party of the CRPF on the busy KP road in Anantnag with automatic rifles and grenades. A joint team of CRPF's 116th Battalion and state police were deployed for a picket duty in the area when the attack took place. Both the terrorists are believed to be the members of Jaish-e-Mohammed, and they are believed to be also killed in the exchange of fire. News from West Bengal now, where as the post-poll violence continues in the state, the governor of the state, K.N. Tripathi, has called an all-party meeting today. Tripathi has summoned leaders from the ruling Trinamool Congress, the BJP, Left and the Congress to discuss and sort out differences so that law and order situation in the state can be restored. Remember, this meeting comes a day after fresh clashes broke out yesterday between the BJP workers and the police in Kolkata during a rally to protest against the ongoing violence in the state. Earlier, in an advisory, the Home Ministry had also expressed deep concern over continuing violence in the state, asking the ruling Trinamool to maintain law and order. However, in response to that advisory, Mamata Banerjee had blamed the BJP of inciting violence. And on to some other news now. BJP Chief Amit Shah will meet the BJP's national office bearers today. He will hold a meeting with the chiefs and general secretaries of the party's all state and union territory units, besides its national office bearers. The meeting will be held to start the process of organizational elections, which are due soon. Amit Shah had on Sunday held separate meetings with the core groups of the party units in Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Haryana to deliberate on the BJP strategy in these assembly poll-bound states. And the BJP announced its Parliamentary Party Executive Committee on Wednesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be the leader in Lok Sabha and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be the deputy leader. And in Rajya Sabha, Union Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot has been appointed as the leader of the House and his cabinet colleague Piyush Goyal as the deputy leader. The party has also appointed Sanjay Jaiswal as its chief whip. For the first time, the party has also appointed 3 women MPs as its whips for women parliamentarians. 15 other whips for Lok Sabha have also been appointed for parliamentarians from different states, and 6 whips have been appointed for the upper house. News from south of the country, and the National Investigation Agency has arrested one person believed to be the mastermind of Islamic State's Tamil Nadu module. The NIA yesterday carried out searches at 7 locations in Coimbatore over a suspected link between Islamic State module in Coimbatore and Sri Lanka Easter bombings. The man arrested was in touch with the Sri Lankan suicide bomber Zahran Hashim through social media. Remember, the Islamic State had claimed responsibility for the serial bombings in Sri Lanka in April, in which more than 250 people were killed. Now, according to the latest United Nations report, foreign direct investment to India grew by 6% to $42 billion in 2018. Now, the report attributed the growth to strong inflows in manufacturing, communication and financial services sector and cross-border merger and acquisition activities. The report also ranked India among the top 20 host economies for FDI inflows in 2017-18. And making a case to take India-US relations to the next level, US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has said that the Trump and Modi governments have a unique opportunity to seize the chance to make this happen. Pompeo made the remarks in a major India policy speech at the India Idea Summit of US-India Business Council on Wednesday. And mentioning Prime Minister Narendra Modi's election campaign slogan, Modi hai to mumkin hai, Pompeo said that he was looking forward to exploring what is possible between our people. Remember, Pompeo is due in New Delhi on 25th and 26th of June on the first leg of an Asia tour that will also see him visit Sri Lanka and South Korea. Pompeo also said that the US was open to dialogue to resolve trade differences with India by allowing American companies more access to Indian markets. And in New Delhi, Pompeo will seek to lay the groundwork for a meeting between US President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Japan in his talks with his Indian counterpart, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. And now all the action from the ICC Cricket World Cup. Well, riding on their 35-run victory against defending champions Australia, India is all set to face New Zealand at Trent Bridge in Nottingham in their third league match today. While Team India has won their first two games against South Africa and Australia, the Kiwis also have 3 wins from 3 games. India will play the match without batsman Shikhar Dhawan, who was ruled out for 3 weeks due to an injury. And yesterday, defending champion Australia beat Pakistan by 41 runs at Taunton in England on Wednesday. Now, chasing a target of 308 runs, Pakistan were all out for 266 with 26 balls to spare. Imamul Haq contributed 53 runs and Mohammad Hafiz Saeed 46 runs for Pakistan. And Mohammad Amir took 5 wickets. And earlier put into bat first, Australia scored 307 in 49 overs with David Warner scoring a superb 107 and captain Aaron Finch putting up 82 runs on board. For Australia, Pat Cummins picked up 3 wickets. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.